Coordinated Western sanctions set to strike with Russia in the line of fire for sending troops into eastern Ukraine. Britain believes an invasion has already begun. Alarm in Asia over the crisis in Ukraine. Leaders are calling for restraint and dialogue to prevail. Early in the bulletin, we heard from Simon Marks in Washington, now live to Moscow, and Giles Gibson. Giles, the US and the Allies imposing sanctions on Russia in the last hour or so. Germany pulling the plug on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Do these actions, do you see them actually forcing Moscow's hand?
Well, those sanctions are coming down thick and fast, aren't they? Not just from Washington and from London, but now also from Germany as well, with, as you were mentioning, the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz announcing that they are going to halt the certification process of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, this pipeline that is set to carry natural gas from Russia underneath the Baltic Sea and then into Germany and the rest of the European Union. That decision by Germany won't have been taken lightly because, of course, it is a bit of a double-edged sword because on the one hand, yes, it will be targeting Russia's crucial natural gas sector, but it also could have the effect of driving up natural gas prices and therefore household bills for citizens not just in Germany but right across Europe. And of course, for several months now, we've been talking about how high natural gas prices have been anyway. We've also been hearing here in Moscow from Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, reacting to some of these sanctions, effectively saying that they are used to being threatened with sanctions by Western allies and saying that Russia is prepared for this because, of course, we've seen this strategy from the Russian government known as the Russian fortress, essentially trying to make their economy more self-sustainable and less dependent on outside influences and therefore less exposed to sanctions that could come down the pipeline.
Giles, defiance from Mr. Lavrov, but Russia also saying the last few days it is still keen on taking the diplomatic route. Of course, in the last few hours, we also had Russia's parliament agreeing unanimously to recognize the regions in eastern Ukraine, Donetsk and Luhansk, moves which started this latest round of outrage from the West and its allies. Is this, talking about diplomacy, is this a delaying tactic on Moscow's part?
Well, of course, we were supposed to have a meeting between Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, and the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, coming up in Europe on Thursday. They were supposed to be preparing the ground for a potential summit between their bosses, Joe Biden, the US president, and Russian President Vladimir Putin. However, the White House had always put the caveat on any sort of talks between Russian officials, either at the foreign minister level or at the presidential level, that they would not go ahead if there was an invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces. Now that we've had Vladimir Putin recognizing these two breakaway regions of eastern Ukraine, I think that is also going to come into the calculation, and any sort of meeting between either the foreign ministers or the presidents in the near future is looking less and less likely now.
Thanks for that, Giles Gibson, on the reaction from Moscow to what's happening.